Alex, do you want to know who texts me weekly if the show is happening or not?
Carter.
Carter does not text yet. He's probably close. Not yet. Take another guess.
I'm, I'm gonna assume our editor.
Yes. So, like, if this show was to ever become anything, we'd have to give all of our credit to Alex, or to Ryan, because he is.
I was gonna say, what the heck did I do?
No, well, I mean, you did a lot, but Ryan seems to be the only one that's interested. Even my dad stopped asking, or maybe he did ask. I forget. Um, but man, so since the last time we chatted, um, we were so thrilled to have Daniel Ricciardo back, and then we lost Daniel Ricciardo to a BS broken hand.
Broken wrist, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is it the wrist? Yeah.
I think it's the wrist. Yeah.
Yep. Um, Liam Lawson stepping in that ride, so we got that to chat about. Since we've last spoken, Max Verstappen has not lost, so we don't have to
Right.
worry about that.
Yeah. Red Bull
That
can't lose.
that hasn't changed. The race for the second best of the rest is still kind of exciting. Every week it's someone new, so you know
Mm.
I know as a fan, at least I think that's cool. And Alex Albon is still carrying Williams on his back, and Alonso still carrying um, Aston Martin on his
Yeah.
back. So
Yeah. Some contract disputes going on or signings going on. Some
yes,
confirmation that some people are going to stay with teams that probably shouldn't be on.
what's upsetting you? Who shouldn't be where?
The Stroll. Head
Okay,
coach should not be seeing F1 right now. I heard. I think last week. I think they confirmed that they're going to hang on to him for next year. And I also heard that Albon was in the talks with a bunch of midfield teams because I don't think he's ever getting seen at Red Bull until I got the pictures. And I was really hoping Aston Martin was going to be the team to sign him.
so let's say though, since he's not getting the Aston Martin seat, do you almost think that he might be in a decent spot staying with Williams?
I want to say yes, but I think Williams' car is obviously designed for that straight line speed. It's just when it comes to like the more intricate tracks, like they're obviously not going to be able to compete. Um, and they also lack the money big time. Like if you look at that Williams car, there's like no sponsors on it, very little, other than the giant Duracell battery one. But like this, I think they might have like three smarter sponsors on like any team or whatever. So it's just like I would love to see Williams come up from the midfield, and it seems like they're finally like consistently getting points with Albon, and it's great to watch. But Albon is driving that car way past like where it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
We can see that with how strong, how much Sargent is struggling. Um, and while I do think Sargent has a lot to grow, I don't think it's entirely his fault that the car just isn't placing well with him. And then on top of that, like he's trying to keep up with his teammate who's way outperforming the car, and he's ending up making mistakes as a
yeah.
rookie.
I agree with he's definitely outperforming that car. It's I like that James Voll's team's principle. I think he's going in the right direction with the team, and I think that if you're not going to get a seat at Mercedes, Red Bull, or Ferrari, you know Ashton was okay, but then like what else? You're not going to hop in a Haas.
You're not gonna
Don't
get it on McLaren.
You're not going
McLaren's
to
like
get in a
Oscar,
McLaren.
Oscar, yeah, Oscar
You're
Lando's pretty much locked in it for a little bit.
Yeah. So
Ferrari, I can see Ferrari. I know that sounds crazy, but like
I, I just
I
I just
saw Carlos Sainz signed a contract with a different team for 2025, 26. I forget what year it was,
that was
but
confirmed.
I know it was rumors, and I know like Sainz didn't do anything to dispute the rumors when asked or whatever. And he kind of said like, "Hey, I just like to know where my future is," which makes sense. F1's a very roller coastery sport, and you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. I agree with you that he gets treated like the redheaded stepchild on that team, but as we're going to talk about this week, another phenomenal race by him. I mean,
Oh yeah,
he didn't drop the bag at all this weekend, so that's shocker that they would be that unhappy with him. But um, how do you feel about Russell and Hamilton? Feel good about that?
got that lineup set. Yeah, for the next. I mean, Hamilton just had signed for 2 years. I I'm curious to see if Hamilton. If think Hamilton wants to stay in until he gets the title. I think that's why he's hanging on to, and I think he knows right now, even with the next year, like Mercedes probably won't catch up to the gap that Red Bull's pulling, and obviously Red Bull's already ahead of the schedule with designing next year's car.
Mm.
So I think he's kind of banking on the year after to see if Mercedes can compete with him again. And if they can't, I wouldn't be surprised if he entertains like another team. I just don't know what team he would really entertain. Like Ferrari is very inconsistent with their strategy calls. Even if they have a good car, they're just like their strategy calls are constantly within the last like I don't know decade been awful. Um, then we have, I mean, Aston Martin can make a jump. McLaren, I can see him going back to McLaren maybe for like kind of a little reunion going on there.
Wow,
But
that'd be crazy.
the only way I see that happening is if Lando goes to Red Bull instead of Danny Rick, which I could see as a possibility because Lando definitely wants to win. But at the same time, I don't know if Marco's willing to put a second driver in that seat to compete with Max. I
Yeah.
think Marco's entire purpose is like, hey, like, yeah, he talks all this like nonsense about Checo, but realistically, if you put a driver on that second seat who's going to be competing with Max, you're not going to get this cohesion unit, and you're going to get Max very unhappy. And I don't know if you really want that. With arguably, he's a guy with the way he's performing. If he has a teammate who's competing with him, they might not be performing so well.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I mean, that was the talk this week because Lewis popped off on Max that he's never, all of Lewis's teammates have been, champions and
It's not
better than.
wrong, but
It's not
I mean, he's
wrong.
really not. He's not wrong, but at the same time, like like Red Bull had Gasly just couldn't. Like Max ruined Gasly's career. He
Yeah.
ruined. Well, he didn't ruin Albon's career. Albon seems to be coming up as a good midfield driver, but he obviously won't be competing at a top team anytime soon. And then he ruined Danny Rick's career. Like that, I think we can agree with.
Danny Rick ruined his own career.
Yeah, I mean, but like, yeah, but people say that at the same time. Like Danny Rick saw the writing on the wall when it came to Alfa Red Bull, see him leaving to go to Renault. And yeah, he definitely went to Renault, went to a midfield team. He's kind of, I feel like, hoping he could pull a Schumacher or Lewis Hamilton by going to a midfield team and all of a sudden competing at the top, which obviously didn't happen. But like Danny Rick was in a rock and a hard place staying at Red Bull. If he stayed at Red Bull, he would have been exactly what Checo is now. He would have been just a punching bag for Marco and Horner and Max just to sit there and ruin this guy's career. And Danny Rick has a good is a talented driver who could have been competing for world driver championships had Red Bull provided him with a decent engine. Had
Mm.
Renault not given Red Bull's engines with those constant like DNFs and everything, like who knows? Danny Rick could be like a champion right now.
Yeah, that stretch with Renault and their reliability was very bad. What do you think if you had to give me your top or top two strongest driver lineups? What do you think they are?
Mercedes, McLaren, in
Wow,
that order.
I, I'm I'm dead nuts, 100% right with you on that. Those are my two
I guess
exactly.
you can make an argument for Ferrari.
Yeah,
I think you can make a real strong argument for Ferrari, to be honest. But I just think people really just like Carlos. So I guess as a fan perspective, you really got to say it's like Mercedes and McLaren. Because Oscar is doing great. And yeah, he has his little mistakes here and there, but Oscar's doing a great job.
no, yeah, no, he is doing a really good job. That was actually because it's not Red Bull, because of Checo. To be honest,
Yeah.
it's not Alpine. Ashton, it could be if they replaced, Lance with someone.
So,
You
yeah.
know, and then it's obviously not AlphaTauri. It's not Alfa Romeo. It's not Williams.
Speaking of Alpha, that rivalry was beautiful.
Yeah, um, yeah, you are
Like,
you're the man on that. And honestly, I all heard other people they all loved it too. They wanted that to be the rest of the year. That's what they wanted it to be.
I feel like there's a lot of rivalries that could have been the rest of the year. Like that one that McLaren brought to was it Monaco where they had the orange, chrome, and the black. I
Yeah,
think it was. I think that was really good for the rest of the year. But
I
yeah,
think come
they
on.
did really good. Alpha
They
does
should,
really good job with the libraries. Just can't make a fast car.
no, definitely not a fast car. And I don't think it's gonna get. I think that team's gonna get a lot worse when they lose the Alfa Romeo sponsor and they go back to Sauber. They're just like it feels like they're just hanging on until Audi gets into the mix.
I'm curious what's going to happen with Bayou Joe. I heard he might lose his seat next year as a competing for, but I feel like he's not a phenomenal driver by any means, but he's like I think he's earned a seat in F1. I mean, he's definitely a pay driver, but he hasn't been performing poorly.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but I think it's Joe Guan Yu's seat. I think it's Logan Sargent's seat, Um, and I don't know if that's it because they locked down both Haas drivers again for next year. Um,
Hamilton just signed, so that seats up.
and and Russell
McLaren's
just signed.
good. Yeah, but Russell's fine. Ferrari's obviously locked in for now.
Red Bull's locked in.
Red
So
Bull, have they confirmed that they're going to hang on to Checo next year?
yeah. All the talks are
They have.
2025 when it comes to Dan. Like when it was like Daniel will be fighting for the 2025 seat. They're
Okay, so
not
he's
even yeah saying hinting with like they've been very solid that Checo next year.
gotcha.
Um, all right. Well, hey, let's talk about Monza then. What do you think of speaking of different paint schemes? What do you think of Ferraris this week? Their tribute for their home race
I'm not a fan of it. Uh,
looked like
I
McDonald
think,
drivers or
yeah, it looked like a messed up like reverse Shell color going scheme going there at the Shell gas station.
Shell. Okay, I like that. I think that is
But
that still their sponsor or that was their sponsor for a little bit.
it might have been this much of a. I just, as much as I understand like the whole sponsorship problems with like the Marlboro, the cigarette
Oh,
companies and stuff, that livery for that Ferrari is beautiful. It just sucks that they can't go back to it.
I
Like
like
at least
you're talking
for
about like
historic purpose,
the red and
like the
white
red and
ones.
white, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
like that red and white look dope. And then
It's
I just wish I wish I could at least for historic, when they get to Monaco or Monza, an Italian race, whatever, just like put one of those historic liveries back on there for a little bit. It'd be pretty nice to see. Obviously, you can't hang on to the old season, but
I agree.
it looks.
Well, my Ferrari buddy when they went red and black, I said, you like red and black, red or white more. He's like, this red and black is fire, but deep down in my heart, like I just pictured Michael Schumacher's red
Yeah,
and white
everyone. Yeah, yeah,
Marlboro.
that red and white.
That's just what I picture in my head. Um, yeah, I don't think the internet was a big fan either, but those drivers showed up as we'll talk about today. Let's get into qualifying here. We'll talk about the bottom five, the first three eliminated in Q1. This was another week where they did hard tires in Q1, mediums in Q2, and then softs in Q3. Um, 16th, Joe Guan Yu. 17th, Pierre. 18th, Esteban. 19th, K Mag. And 20th, Lance Stroll. Do we know what was going on with Lance this weekend?
He just lands. I want to say Q. I want to say Q1. He has some problems. Some physical problems. I forgot what it was. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But I could have sworn he has some problems going with the car.
Cause
But
that's, I mean, that was a shocker. K Mag down there. I know
the
Ryan.
Alpines.
I know Ryan doesn't think it,
Alpines.
but
He's
the
punching air.
the Alpines is a shocker, not in Q1.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, not in Q1. That's what I was gonna say too. Yeah,
Yeah, and then for them to be 17th and 18th, and then Joe Guan Yu is not a big shocker.
it's such a
But
weird team to predict.
what?
The Alpines. I just feel like they're the weirdest team to predict. I feel like they have a solid driver lineup, and every now and then their car just seems to do pretty well on the tracks, and then like they'll get like a point finish, like a solid 9-8, and then all of a sudden they're in last place. Like what just
Yeah, yeah, third
It's still
third place
weird
last
team to
week.
predict.
Third
Yeah, that's what I'm
place.
saying. Like it's
Yeah,
such a strange thing. They're a weird team to predict. It's like you're gambling odds on anybody. Do not bet on any of the Alpines.
yeah, that's funny. That's definitely 1,000% wild card team is them.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more there. And that leads us to Q2. Yuki Tsunoda in 11th, Liam Lawson, teammate right behind him in 12th, Nico 13th, Valtteri 14th, and then Logan Sargent, who has been getting out of Q1, so I think that's baby steps in the right direction for him. But he qualifies 15th when his teammate is up the leaderboard. Um, Man, Liam Lawson, decent runs. Nothing to,
Yeah,
you
he's
know,
doing pretty good. Got to
yeah.
give credit too. He's taking the opportunity and showing he's running with it.
To put it right behind your teammate is about as good as you can ask for, right? As a rookie.
Mm. Especially after like last week, he got thrown to the fire. He had one practice and then he had to qualify.
Yeah, and a crazy rain race and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a lot of horsepower to try to figure out how to apply it, not only in the drive but in the rain too. Um, I give Lawson some credit. Nico just out driving that Haas 13th. Valtteri 14th, Logan 15th. I think was a letdown for the speed, but I guess if you want to if we're gonna coddle him, because we are Americans and he is our only American driver, not bad. And his wreck last week they said wasn't his fault. Did you hear that?
I did not hear that, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I was going to mention too. He made it to Q3 the week before and just had that wreck early on.
yeah. So the Zandvoort wreck, loss of hydraulic pressure that low, because they were asking. At least that's what the team said. The team's like he's hard on himself, but that one like was not on him. We lost hydraulic pressure. So I think when he hit that curb, it didn't have like the normal how it was acting and got all messed up. But we'll start from 10th up for qualifying. 10th, Fernando Alonso. 9th, Lando Norris. 8th, Lewis Hamilton. 7th, Oscar Piastri out qualifies his teammate. 6th, Alex Albon. 5, Sergio Perez. 4, George Russell. 3, Charles Leclerc. 2, Max Verstappen. And then 1, Carlos Sainz. It was a pretty exciting qualifying. You think?
Oh yeah, it was extremely fun. I think Carlos. I know Carlos pulled a few P1 in the practice sessions, but I wasn't expecting him to out qualify Leclerc, and then never mind out qualifying Max too. That was insane. Good for him.
Yeah, and I forget who laid down the lap. I forget which order. Um, but I know
To
I
the
just
end,
kind. Oh, I forget what order they came across the line at the
it was
end.
Leclerc first, then Max. Because I remember Leclerc pulled towards the end of the session. It was Leclerc first,
Yep.
and then Max, he pulled full. They were one, two, three coming into the second part of P3 after they come out of the pits and stuff,
Yep.
and then Leclerc stole pole from Max, who had it, and then Max took pole from him. They all improved for their times, and then Carlos stole pole from Max at the very end. It was insane.
Yeah. Well, it was a great qualifying for Carlos and Charles. Max sticks it there in second. Again, my brain went to the fact that Ferrari does have they have a good qualifying car. They've
But the
always
one left pace, they're fine. It's just the strategy calls and I was really worried. Sorry to skip ahead a little bit. When I saw the beginning of the race and we see the heat waves
mm,
that were coming up, I was like, Ferrari's gonna bomb this, and I'm gonna finish the podium because they're gonna
mm,
burn through their tires.
yeah, no, and they did okay. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Max qualified second, but I don't know if anyone like I didn't care. I was like, all right, what he gonna win from second
Yeah,
now,
everyone
right?
did
Like,
that. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Um, George George put in that Mercedes, which looked slow all practices, into fourth was a good qualifying run. Um, I think we all knew the inevitable monster Sergio Perez was going to be behind him, was going to overtake him quick.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. You hear the
just
team radio on that,
what?
George? It was like, George, we'd like you to take it easy in the turn
Oh,
six on the tires. And he's like, "Do you see what's behind my ass?" Or something like that. I forgot what it was.
yeah. Um, oh yeah, that was great. Albon sixth, obviously. That Williams putting it up there on a track that he should, um, with no crazy rain qualifying that messed him up at Spa. Oscar's in seventh, outdrives Lando. That's pretty impressive. It was good. Um, Lewis in eighth. He just looked behind George kind of all weekend in
Yeah, the
practice.
setup. It seemed like he really struggled with the setup to
Yeah.
get going.
Yep. Lando nine, and then Fernando 10. So it looks like to me
Fernando was fighting for his life back there, right?
oh yeah, that was he. I mean, we'll talk about the race start in a second, but um, it seems to me like a general. You're gonna have two Red Bulls, two Ferraris, two Mercedes. That's two, four, six. Two McLarens now, which is eight, and then it's like, who's the other two
It's
gonna
open.
be?
Yeah.
And
Well, right
normally
now
it's gonna
it's
be
like open.
Alonso.
It should be or that or an Alpine.
Yeah,
Um, and then somehow lately Alex Albon is putting it up there. So I have no idea where to really rank the top 10 outside those three or four teams.
yeah, and with like Lando down in ninth, Lewis in eighth, you're like, all right, there might be some position swap in there. Um, no one like super fast. It's not like when Sergio qualifies like 17th and we're like, he's about to rip through the field. I think everyone was kind of like where, kind of where we kind of expected them to be. Man, lights out, away we go, and we've had kind of an exciting battle for a couple laps for first. But
Yeah.
if you listen to the team radio, Max very early was like, he's sliding. I can see it. We're all good. My tires are gonna be better. But
Yeah.
they had a nice clean battle. Did you ever think he wasn't gonna pass him? No.
Not at all. Like I said, I was always worried about the tires and the Ferraris. And then if they starting to get in panic mode. We all know Ferrari's going to make the wrong strategy call somewhere along the way. So
Yeah.
he definitely outlasted expectations. I thought Max was going to pass him way early on, especially once DRS came over. Carlos had great defensive driving for a little bit, but he can only hold on for so long. And at that point, when you have a Red Bull behind you, you know you're not racing against that Red Bull. You're racing to just hold the car behind that Red Bull.
Yeah, I think their cars too. If I'm right, were a great example of two cars that were both very good this weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ferrari was trimmed out to be faster down the straights, right?
Yeah.
And what did that do? That hurt them in the cornering because they didn't have the downforce, caused them to slide, caused their tires to. Um, so like even on a fast track, sometimes you can't be too trimmed out, or else you're gonna have trouble stepping on the gas, um, and you're gonna have issues. But yeah, so I really feel like once. I mean, now the Russell and Perez battle was going for a while. I mean, we knew that was kind of inevitable too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it felt like the same time that Max passed Sergio, um, Car, excuse me, that Max passed Carlos, Sergio passed
Yeah.
Russell, and then it was kind of like the let's see Sergio go get these guys. Um,
Pretty much, yeah. I
I
mean, if
I
you
kind of
really,
I expected Sergio to get second too. I don't know about you. I knew he was gonna make his way through those Ferraris.
of course, like I said, I think obviously Ferrari just seems like they accept like, hey, like we don't have the car to compete with these Red Bulls right now. So they had to convince these guys like, we're in a different race and these guys just let them take their position. And not for nothing, at the end of the race, those two provided the most entertaining battle I think we've seen all season.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think we can, fast forward to the end of the race. Max is in the lead. Sergio's well in second, and then tip our hats to Ferrari for letting them go at it. I
And they
really,
let them go at it. I thought they were gonna crash a few times.
I really didn't like. At one point, Carlos was like, "Let's just bring it home." I hate that. Like like in that race situation in particular. What was their lead over George Russell? Like, wasn't it like 10 plus seconds?
Yeah, it was around there. Yeah, not it was like just under, if anything. But yeah,
So
like they
like,
had it, but like
yeah.
he obviously, like I said, I almost thought they were gonna crash. And a few times, like I want to say Carlos overtook initially. He locked up, and then it was another time I think Charles locked up on the last like two laps about two times. And that last time I thought he was really gonna send it into Carlos. I was worried.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, when he locks up behind him, it did get a little
Yeah.
sketch. Um, but they need to race. We can't. We can't.
Yeah, it's entertaining, and like the crowd was getting a giant applause from the crowd from there too. They were going nuts. It was amazing to watch. It
Yeah.
was fun.
I try to look at things too, like I just said, very situationally. You're not. You two racing is not going to cause you to not catch the car in front. It's not going to cause the car behind you to catch you. You're literally locked in. All you have to do is not crash each other. Like that's it. You two can go
Yeah,
as crazy as you want and just not crash each other.
kudos to Ferrari for letting it happen. Though, like they
Yeah,
just let him go. Whoever
yeah,
was the better driver, that they got it. And I thought Carlos came very, very close to losing that position. His
yeah.
tires were gone by the end of the race.
And you see after the race too, the little
Yeah,
2x2 Red Bull Ferrari. Um,
yeah,
I think the fans deserve that there. I mean, listen, that is a fan base that is predominantly Ferrari fans, meaning
mm-hmm.
those fans cry almost every week. Okay, so I think I think I think they deserved a little bit of a show. So I couldn't be more happy for those fans out there. Behind that, George Russell pretty much ran his own race after he got passed by Sergio. Right? He was just um, that penalty didn't matter at all for him. I thought he was kind of clearly in the wrong on it,
Mm-hmm.
um, but it didn't matter. It was whatever. Man, Hamilton had an exciting day. Second
I
week.
thought, yeah, he got a 5 second penalty for the
Yep.
incident with Piastri toward the end of the race. And I felt bad for Piastri. Like that was
Mm,
a rough one. He
yeah.
definitely would have
I
finished some
will.
points had that happened.
I will say this is now the second time that Lewis has done this. Um, Alonso last year at Spa, he said the same thing. He said blind spot. He said it was my fault. Um, So I don't know. I mean, obviously, like I'm Lewis Hamilton's biggest fan. I'm on board with him every week. I don't miss it. But like those are still straight up. They're like his fault. They're not even close to.
Oh yeah, like 100% of his fault. I mean, not for nothing. Like even with the penalty and everything, and it sucked that he ruined Oscar's race. But had Oscar's race not been ruined, like he had a phenomenal drive too.
Yeah.
He had to overtake that Williams on a straight line, and he overtook him, like straight up overtook him. Because there's a narrative going around that Lewis can't do wheel to wheel driving, and I think that's absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
But he straight up overtook Albon, and then he put a 6 second gap with I don't know how many laps left. It had to be less than 10 or 5. Maybe 4, yeah, that's insane. Yeah, that Williams was looking like a rocket ship on those straight lines the entire week, and this is the fastest track on the circuit.
I will say though, like let's not forget this Lewis Hamilton incident that Oscar put him off the lap before.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Oscar didn't just run him. Oscar didn't just run him wide. Oscar also missed that chicane. That's like, not like, oh, I put you and I'm still taking. No, like they both went through the cutoff. So, yeah. But anyways, Hamilton finishes sixth even with his penalty. Man,
sorry. Let me just reiterate something. Like that's just like Oscar showing the rookie immaturity, I guess. Like he's got to learn. Like, hey, I don't have the car right now to make this move. Let me preserve the car for the other race. That's just rookie mistakes. Yeah. You couldn't be any more right there. That's exactly it. Albon 7th place, man. That's listen, 6 points. That's good for that team. He's stacking points for them. We'll go over points at the end, but I mean he holds off Lando Norris all race. Man, it's gotta be one of the worst feelings, that DRS train. Like every lap, you're like, oh, am I gonna get past? You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I don't know. I think he's doing an incredible job. As all. I don't know what more there is to say about it. You got anything to add?
Did he win driver of the day?
No, Carlos won driver of the day.
Carlos.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. It was gonna be a tifosi, you know that.
Yeah.
If they finish better, Williams too, maybe they'll get some more constructor money this year. I mean, they should definitely finish above Haas, Alfa Romeo, and Alfa Tauri in points this year. So
are they kind of in their own race right now? Can they?
Yeah.
They have no chance of catching the Alpines, right?
I do not think so. We'll take a look at that in a second, but just strong race for him. Lando Norris. This is the second week. Second week in a row. We'll talk about McLaren as a whole here too. I think Lando just drove a solid race, right? Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Solid race. But man, like Mercedes kills it in Spain. We're like, ooh, what's gonna go here? And then nothing. McLaren has that great run at Silverstone and a pretty good run in Budapest. And last week, Lewis, passed them and drove past them, for kind of best of the rest. This week, it's just interesting how they seem to be a roller coaster of a team kind of as well.
It's really weird right now. I'm curious to see what's going on with that player. I don't think anybody brought upgrades, right?
Yeah, not that we're talked about very much on social media at least. But it's just the who's gonna show up the next race is absolutely insane.
It really is just a setup of the cars. It seems like right now.
Yeah,
we had figuring out these free practices and just getting that setup right.
Yeah, we had Fernando on the pole, or not on pole, excuse me, on the podium last week, and that was off of speed, really. Like Pierre was a little bit off of strategy, but Fernando kept that car up there. I think he passed the Ferraris last week. Ferraris was the clear second fastest car here this week. I believe Mercedes was the second fastest last week, and I'm going to already fast forward and say that they're going to be fast in Singapore because I think it's a slow turn type track. But it's just crazy. We don't know. Watch, McLaren could be, really fast this week.
It's just weird in general. Back to what I was saying about the setups. I remember, I don't know if it was qualifying or free practice 3 where Lewis goes on the radio and he's George is pulling 5 kilometers on the straights faster than Lewis is. And like
Yep.
that's obviously a setup mishap there. Like what's going on that he's like we have the same car. Why
Yeah.
is he this much faster? So like I said, I think it's just really just free practices to figure out what works and what doesn't. And uh, McLaren obviously is not entirely figuring it out. And I hope they really do. I would love to see that final stint where they're competing with the Ferraris and the Astons for that P3 and the Constructors Championship. I think it can be up there. And they have the driver talent to do it. Now it just comes down to whether they get the job done.
Yep. Absolutely. Back to our race here. Fernando Alonso finishes ninth. As Alex said earlier, he had his hands full for this ninth too. This is honestly
He
a tenth.
was fighting for his life, man. That
This is
dude was struggling.
this is honestly a 10th place finish if the Lewis Oscar incident doesn't happen. Um, he got jumped by Nico Hulkenberg at the start of the race. I don't even know how that happened. Um, and yeah, just again, we go from second place last week to probably a 10th place car. But whatever, points for the team. You saw the Zach Brown comments on the radio show or whatever.
What was it? I think I did. I just can't
There was
remember.
like a McLaren thing, and it was like Oscar, Lando, and Zach Brown, and they were answering questions. And I guess Zach Brown was dominating, and he goes, "I'm dominating like Alonso on Stroll, like in
Oh
the interview."
yeah, dude, they gotta
Um,
get rid of him. I'm sorry. Like as a father, you're doing your son a disservice by just letting him get like humiliated like this time after time. Like,
he
just tell
he
your
he.
son you're not cut out for F1. Go to Formula E or something, and get somebody in that second seat who can compete. Like your team, your son is costing you millions of dollars.
Yo, listen, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. 10th place, which is I mean, honestly, I didn't see him or hear about him all day. Valtteri Bottas. I don't know why I said that so
I
weird.
saw that too. I, like at the end of the race, they said, both of us get some points. I'm like, what?
Yeah, so he snuck in there 10th. I did not hear about him all race. Um, Again, Liam Lawson puts it in 11th. Like, dude, your teammate goes out lap one. You're all by yourself
I
out
know.
there.
Not even. It was before the start.
Oh yeah, yep. Nope. You're up. Yeah, on the
They were
formation
doing a
lap.
formation lap. Yep, his car just
Yeah.
lit on fire.
Um. So what?
Dude,
What?
sorry,
No, you're good.
I'm interrupting. But when his car went out, I remember the commentators like, Yuki did a really bad job of placing that car where it was. And then you watch the onboard footage. I'm like, where could he have gone? Like the car just shut down,
Yeah.
and then it got stuck in gear. That was a shit show.
Yeah. I didn't watch the race live. I just remember I got home, and I fast forward. I'm like, oh my god, like why? What is going on? Um, if I was sitting there like ready to go, I would have been so anxious. I was lucky enough that I got to fast forward through all the Yuki stuff. Um, but I tell you what, I'm not after the Nick DeVries incident last year where he scores points and then I was like, oh, like let's get this guy in a car.
Yeah,
I'm not, you know, the Liam Lawson, he's executing good. You know, maybe I don't know, but I'm pulling down the hype train now when we get reserve drivers that come in. You know,
that's fair. But I think Liam Lawson definitely looks like he can already see. Uh, I'm sure. I don't know if you remember. I mentioned him like before the Danny Rick situation to come into AlphaTauri even happened. That's all he deserved to see after how long he's been in F1. And if he doesn't get a seat soon, I don't know what he's gonna have a similar career to Nick DeVries here, where he's just gonna be competing at all these road racing uh, circuits, not get a chance at F1. I think he definitely deserves one. I think his best chance is honestly taking Logan Sargent's seat, and
yeah,
that sucks for Logan Sargent, but yeah.
yeah. I think Logan's tough with him being American, and I think they want
But he kind
someone
of,
kind of
it's
wants
also
an
his rookie
American.
year. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that in America. Like, America's
but
obviously
but
becoming big over the last few years.
but you're right. Liam is like vibing for that seat, or maybe that Alpha, you know, Alpha Romeo
For
seat.
now. Mm.
Yeah. Um, so that's that. 12th, Oscar Piastri. Obviously, he was. I think he would have finished eighth,
Eighth or ninth, something like that. Yeah.
eighth or ninth. I think ninth. I think he was behind Lando. Um, you know, Lewis went and apologized right after the race, but there's not much you can do about it then. Sargent finishes 13th. Again, not bad. Started 15th, finishes 13th. I don't know. You know, when your teammates up there in 6th, 7th, maybe you should be doing better, but it is what it is. Joe Guanyu 14th. Oh man, Alpine's 15th, Pierre Gasly again. Lance Stroll starts dead last. Um, you know, finishes 16th. What is that? The two Haas's want to finish next to each other, 17th, 18th. Did you even see Esteban get retired?
That was another thing. I saw at the end of the race, and I saw somebody put a picture up after the race, and they were like, "When you retired, and no one had a clue."
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know
No
until I was
clue.
checking results today. No clue either.
I don't. I'm telling you, it was that Ferrari race at the end that just distracted everyone.
Yeah, I don't even. He did 39 laps. He completed, so it was a
I don't think what the
51 lap
heck was
race.
going on.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
everybody was pitting around there. I don't know because even then, like, I think the last person to pit was it Lewis? Because I know he was on a hard stint for a little bit, and
Lewis was the
he,
last person to pit. Yeah, I think.
but I think his tires were like 30 plus laps, so it wasn't even. I have no idea how this went unnoticed.
Yeah, it really did though. So that is our race results. You ready? We'll go over standings here real quick. No shocker, Max Verstappen is in the lead, 364 points. Sergio Perez is in the lead with 219. What was the stuff that I heard? I heard from Japan he would need to have an 180 point lead. I think I forget what it is, but he's gonna lock this thing up real quick. Um, I mean, Sergio finishing second makes it a little bit harder, but he's gonna lock this thing up soon. Fernando's down in third at 170, so I would say second is Sergio's in a league of his own even for second. I think
60
that's
points. I think that's doable. I think someone can overtake Sergio if he's.
50 points. Do you think that Red
I
Bull's
can
gonna
see that
give up
happening.
50?
I could, dude. They are bound to get a DNF somewhere down the road.
Are they though, Alex?
No,
Are
they're
they?
gonna win every single race. I don't want to believe that, but it's gonna happen. I get it. Like everybody's like, "Oh, appreciate the greatness," but it's just like
El-
I'm sure you've seen the memes all over the place and the shorts and the reels and all that and the TikToks or whatever you're on, and it's like, and you're watching F1 this year, and Max Verstappen gets away, and Max Verstappen wins the race with a
that is
35
the whole race.
second
It's
lead.
not they're not
It's
wrong.
literally the entire race. It's like,
Um, yeah,
and like,
everyone just needs to look past that. There's more exciting stuff going on
but
behind
like
him.
that's what I'm saying. Of course it is, but it's like at the same time, like as a fan, it's just like I said, the most exciting battle happened between the Ferraris for third place this year.
Yeah,
It's a gap between everything, and that went down to the line. I think they finished within like a tenth of each other, or something like that.
yeah, you're not wrong. But I think Sergio's kind of locked in for second. It is definitely possible though. You're not right. 50
I'm,
points.
I'm just, I'm, just trying to keep the fans enticed. I have
Yeah.
to do something here.
Well, a spicy battle. Fernando's in third with 170. Lewis is in fourth with 164. Um, that's a battle. Carlos Sainz down in fifth at 117. Charles Leclerc in sixth at 111. So there's only 6 points between them. 2 points behind Leclerc is George Russell at 109. So you have a little battle going on, 5, 6, and 7. Eighth is Lando Norris with 79. I think he'll be locked in there because ninth is Lance Stroll. Stroll's not touching that. At 47. Pierre is at 37. Esteban is at 36. Talk about a team equally kind of on their own there. And then Piastri. Oh, Piastri also has 36 and 12. So I think going forward, I think we can see Oscar jump above these two Alpine drivers.
I think I'll overtake Lance too.
Lance with 47 points. I could see it. Yep, I'm with you on that. I agree. And then down in 13th place, you have, yeah, Albon has 21 points. Nico Hulkenberg has 9. Bottas has 6. Joe Guan Yu has 4. Yuki has 3. K-Mag has 2. And then that is it. So Albon has 21. Nico has 9. K-Mag has 2. So they have 11. So Haas has 11. So he has 10 more points than Haas just by himself. Bottas and Joe Guan Yu has 10 points total, so he has 11 more than them total. And then Yuki has 3, so he has 18 more than that team. So as we go into the teams right here, I don't know why I did that weird like that. I was just excited to flex how good Albon's doing. Red Bull's in the lead by a million. Mercedes 273 in second. Ferrari after
That
a
is
very stop.
insane that
What's that?
Max is literally beating every constructor by himself, and Checo's not far behind.
Yeah. Yep.
Can both Red Bulls beat out the constructors by the end of the season? That's what we really got to be talking about.
Yeah, when are so it's maximum what 20, 26, and 18 is what, Alex? 36, 44.
It's, yeah, that would be 20, yeah, 44.
So the most points you can gain on them is 44 a race. So I wonder when that would be if you finished 1, 2, and one of your drivers got um, fastest lap. So and they DNF'd. So I bet you they'll clinch it here soon at some point too.
How many races are left?
There's 8 races left. It's kind of sad.
44 times 3,
So do you have your? Oh, you're using your
I can do
phone.
this in my head. 440 would be 10 races left. So minus 88 of 440. 340, and then I don't want to do that. I want to say it's like 356 or something like that.
All
The
right. Well,
max total points they can get.
they have a 300 point lead, 310 point lead on Mercedes right now.
So they'll clinch after the struggles in like 2 races.
Yeah.
3 tops. I'll say 3 tops. I'll give them 3.
Well, not when Mercedes wins next week, but after that. So
We were just
so
talking about Red Bull winning every race, and how John comes in with the nonsense.
well, no, Hamilton's spoiling it. Mark, you watch. I'm here for it. I'm riding it. Um, I think actually Mercedes is going to be good the next 2 races. Very good. Um, Mercedes second, 273. Ferrari after their very solid double points finish this week, 228. So they're not too far behind. Aston Martin at 217, and then McLaren in fifth at 115. I was really hoping McLaren was going to make that jump. I think 102 points though, that's going to be a lot to ask for. Just because,
I mean, like, they'll probably jump it down to like 70 or 80 by the end of the year. But
yeah,
yeah, I don't think they're going to cleanse that lead fast enough.
Because Fernando's going to keep giving you, he's going to keep giving you points. So that's going to be tough. Alpine at 73. Williams in 7th with 21. So that's what I mean. I think, they're 50 behind Alpine. I doubt that's not happening with one driver.
Not at all.
And then, Haas can have some points races, but, they're going to be squeezing 1 to 2 points out, and they're already 10 behind. So I think Williams is looking good in 7th. Not bad for them. Haas in 8th. That stinks for our American team. Alfa Romeo in 9th, and then AlphaTauri in 10th place. So that is that. You asked. We have. You think I can do this off the top of my head? Are you ready? We have Singapore, Japan, Qatar, Texas, Mexico, Brazil, Vegas, Abu Dhabi.
Damn.
That is our 8 left. So we do not have a race this upcoming week though, Alex. So we get to chat next Monday about the Singapore Grand Prix, about the new track layout they have there. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, they're taking out the where they go. Where they go underneath the bleachers? They have the bleachers for the floating soccer field.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're taking that out.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah,
for
right?
visual purposes, anyways. Yeah, for visual purposes. I'm sure it might be maybe it's dangerous and like overtaking isn't the greatest thing, but
Yeah, so they're going to add a straightaway. They're taking out turns 16, 17, 18, 19. So they're going to have a longer straight.
yeah. So we're just gonna give Red Bull the break speed record. Hopefully they go to the sound barrier.
It's not. It's not. The straightaway is not that long. Those turns are all just real tight on each other. I wish we had. I like. That's the one thing though. I remember one of my first like Formula One Singapore things I saw was them going under that that turn, under that bridge, and for that to be gone, I don't know. I feel like it's whatever because the track sucks at overtaking so bad. Um, but you went back and watched some of those races, right? Like
Singapore
the
races, some of them, not too many.
yeah, they're kind of tough. Not gonna lie. Um, but yeah, we get to talk about that. What else? Did we miss anything else in Formula One?
Rivalries, we got. I feel like we're missing something. I'm forgetting what it is. I'm sure it'll come to me after the show.
Yeah,
But I
race.
know, I know for sure. I feel like we're missing something I wanted to talk about today.
Yeah,
Can we just shout out Daniel Ricciardo for being a hero and not taking out his fellow Aussie and sacrificing his wrist in the process?
absolutely, absolutely. I don't know how you do that situation any different. Like I don't think Oscar shouldn't roll down the track, right? That's dangerous. Um,
No, yeah.
and like, what's Ricardo supposed to do? That's like a blind corner. You can't see anything.
I know. Isn't that the racing line too? Like the higher end of it?
Yeah, yeah. So you're going in with
Yeah,
speed, relying on the
yeah,
top of the banking to slow that car
yeah.
down. And
So like he could get some serious damage to Oscar had he not. That was pretty impressive.
yeah,
Yeah, clear
shouts
least.
out,
Like
shouts out
decision
Danny Rick.
making.
Um, Alex, can I tell you what we get to right now? We get to
Sure.
what could be what's arguably my favorite part of the year. Because what we'll get into, we have NFL football starts this Thursday.
Sir.
So what we get into next Sunday is on the same Sunday we have a Formula One race, a NASCAR race, and potentially a football game that is your favorite team, mine being the Steelers, you being the Panthers. So you get two racing and a football game on for a few weeks. Honestly, I get the chills when I think about it. I'm so looking forward to
I'm
it.
gonna have to wake up dumb early.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Gotta get some sort of exercise in, and then I'm gonna be a slob.
Yeah, yeah. It's a great time of the year. I'm not gonna lie. Too,
It really
and
is.
especially you got your setup right. You throw a red zone on next to it. Gee. See it.
Not all of us are that privileged, John. Let's settle down here, buddy. I'm still using those Reddit streams.
Yeah, that's where I get my red zone from. You bozo. You can. I don't. I mean, we'll never be famous, but I don't. This is not how I want us to like start like being famous, and then like they're like, yeah, so we go back and streamers, Alex and Jonathan are
Let's be real here. Everyone and their mother has done it. Eminem probably stole his own music for crying out loud.
Oh, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong. What do you think of Coach Prime's debut with Colorado?
Dude, I was shocked. I gotta give him credit where credit's due. I mean, to
Right?
be fair, like I always feel like the religious schools kind of hinder themselves with the talent they keep drawing. So TCU, Texas Christian University, Notre Dame, like they always draw in like the religious schools. They always draw in the religious. They always have to have a religious student go in there. So it kind of hurts them in that sense. And obviously, Deion Sanders is a household name in football, so everybody and their mother wants to go play for him. So he's got a good set of talent. I got to give him credit. They were talking up his son, and his son is a beast.
Yeah.
His son is a beast. This is a solid year for quarterbacks in college football.
I
I'm
said
probably gonna have the number one pick in Dynasty, and I was set on Caleb Williams. I think I'm still gonna lock in Caleb Williams. There's some good quarterback play coming on.
yeah. Caleb Williams and Drake May's the other one.
Mm.
Yeah. I said I was like, oh man, I like Prime. I think Colorado's going to be so much better, no doubt, than last year. But I was like, I wish they didn't open up with TCU. I was like, and you're right. That Sanders, what was it? 500 yards and 4 tutties or 400 yards? It was.
I think it was four. I think it was four. Don't quote me, but I'll say it was 423, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions.
They have that one kid playing both sides of the ball, dude.
Travis Hunter, I think, a monster, man. I'm just curious because like I want to say he was listed as a receiver when he came in, but that dude is really good at corner. And I think when you get to the NFL level, I don't think I know Troy Brown did it for the Patriots like over a decade ago, maybe two. I don't remember, but like I will say this time and time again: the hardest two positions to play in football, 100% the quarterback position. without a doubt in my mind, it's the quarterback position. They have to know everyone's position and how everything's going to work, and they have to make adjustments on the fly all the time. Number two is corner, the defensive back, and like especially in today's day and game, you can't be as physical with the receivers. The receivers know what the play is and what the design is, and receivers are getting smarter too. They know how to read defenses,
Yep.
and they know where the gaps are going to be. So you're on an island by yourself out there. It is extremely hard. You are being reactive to somebody who's just knows where to go.
Yeah.
And I think he's filthy at corner though, but he's a really good receiver too. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen to him once he gets to the NFL level.
Yeah.
Man, he's a monster too.
I'm about it though. I'm about Coach Prime.
I am. I'm happy. I was like, I got him going to Colorado. I was also one of the people who was skeptic. I felt like, what he did for the ATCs, I thought it was great, but after all, like him leaving was kind of like you didn't stick to your word for what you really wanted to do. But at the same time, like if he goes in there and he does his thing for Colorado, it's just going to be amazing to watch. It's exciting. I love the college football. Really
do you see he doesn't name captains?
I did not know that. No.
He puts L's on their shirts for leaders and D on their shirts for dogs. He doesn't do captains. I swear to God, you can see the dudes who have L's and D's right where they're like the captain would be.
I believe you. That's great.
Oh
Didn't he have surgery? I thought he was going to lose his foot or something.
No, I don't. They said that he had to get his toe amputated.
Right?
Yeah, but they said he got it amputated because he wouldn't miss games. Like he might have been able to keep his toes, but he didn't want to miss the games. And he said in his press conference, he was like, I had to go to the trainer after the game. He's like, I was hurting. Because the trainer takes care of him, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was exciting. Who do the Panthers open up with this week?
God, why am I brain farting?
Oh my gosh, you don't even know who your week.
I'm dead seriously. I'm brain farting.
Alex isn't a fan.
I just know I looked at our schedule and I saw us finishing 5-12, and I see all the NFL analysts saying the same thing. So I was like, I'm glad I got one thing right. Because our O line is dog water, and then, like that preseason, I think Bryce. I'm not gonna lie, Bryce has outplayed what I thought he was gonna do.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Especially for how bad the O line is. I was worried him coming from Bama and being a little bit of a shorter stature. I was like, he's gonna get hurt, but like he's doing a great job, and the guy reads the field really well. The guy reads the field, reads plays really well. And had he been like 6'4", I hate to be that guy. I really think he can be like Aaron Rodgers. He is insanely smart. Insanely smart. I gotta give credit too. He's making reads before like he has a higher IQ than the average rookie quarterback. And I just think his height's gonna hinder him. And he's becoming a little mobile now, so we'll see what's gonna happen. But I feel bad for him because that offensive line is dog water. And I hope they improve. But we got a lot of and we probably have the worst skill position players in the entire NFL. Our number one receiver is Adam Thielen, who's way past his prime.
You open up against the Falcons.
Yeah, we got a rough. We have a pretty easy schedule. And I know I'm saying that after saying we're gonna go 5-12. I remember looking at it like easy schedule for our team.
You play the Falcons, the Saints, and no, your division is
Falcons, Saints, Buccaneers. Yeah, Falcons, Saints, Buccaneers. So we have an easy schedule in that sense. 6 games. And they're all teams.
Then you have the AFC South, so you face the Texans, the Colts, the
Jags, and
no, Jags are gonna chop
Texans. No, I think we're gonna lose them too. I'm just saying in the Texans, and then we have an easy schedule. I just don't think this team's talented enough. I think in the defensive side of the ball, I could see our defense being a top 10 French defense. Like I think we'll finish like 12, 13 or something like that on the ratings. But our offense is just we have no weapons. And I know as Panthers fans are all over Twitter hyping up Miles Sanders. I think Miles Sanders is a good running back. I think he looked great last year because that Eagles offensive line is going to go down historically as one of the greatest offensive lines of all time.
Yeah, that was an old line thing in Philly.
Oh yeah, for sure. Any running back I think in Philly could have looked good. And now they got some good running backs.
You could have looked good.
Exactly, and I'm running like a 35-second 40.
And we know how your vision is too, but those holes are big enough that it'd be good.
How you feeling, your Steelers? Kenny
Oh,
Pickett
good.
looked good during preseason.
Yeah, we're gonna start off 1-0 against the 49ers. It's gonna be a statement win, and then we're just
You guys gonna
riding,
ride the
baby.
high. You
We're
guys are you
riding.
guys you guys are in a tough division, man. Anybody, it, like you guys are the Ravens, the
I agree.
Bengals. You guys are in a tough division.
Yo,
And the
my
Browns, talent wise, are good. The quarterback just sucks.
nah, they're booty. They auto drafted Deshaun Watson for me on my fantasy team, and I want that. I want that off quickly. So I'll take anything. I'll take like a eighth round wide receiver who won't play. Just get this dude off my
I
team.
mean, I'm sure you can find somebody in the waiver wires. I'll give you
Dude,
Kenny Pickett.
one of the rounds I was looking at quarterbacks. It was literally Burrow and Lamar were the top two choices. I was like, I'm not picking either one of them to be my quarterback. I'd rather lose the
You
whole
can't play
thing.
fantasy like that,
No,
man.
yeah,
You can't
I
play fantasy like
and
that.
that's why I don't. I just Ryan freaking. I can't say no to Ryan. That's a problem. All right, brother. Well, hey, I had fun talking Formula One. I'm happy to be back. I uh, I started coaching youth football. That started like
Oh,
the
really?
week.
Good for
Yeah,
you.
yeah. It's crazy. The week I got back from vacation in Iowa, and they had practice Monday through Thursday, like for 3 weeks, and then school started last week, so it's now down to 3 days a week. We had our we first game. We had our first game on Sunday. We lost. It was close with Shelton, but it was a good game.
Are
Um,
you playing in the? Is it the? Are you in the? Is it the Vikings still?
yeah,
Or
the Vikings.
the
Yeah,
Vikings? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Last.
I remember like growing up for me, we had practice 5 to 6 days a week. So the
Yeah.
fact that you guys, even during school for us, like we did practice on Saturday. I hated Saturday morning practices.
Yeah. So it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday practice, Saturday
Mm,
walkthrough, and then game on Sunday. So it's
yeah,
and and they do film on Monday, which I won't be. I'm not. I'm.
not a
That's
good part
it's
of.
no. So
Are
so
you
for them. So for them, it's still 6 days a week.
are you a position coach or just like
Yeah.
assisting anybody you can?
Yeah, I'm just helping out. Position wise, I'm helping out the running backs and the DBs.
Gotcha.
And that's where they got me there. So it's
That's cool.
crazy, and
I was
but the schedule settled down, so now we're back to shows. So life is good.
yeah, I was thinking about doing it, but it's it really is like you're really doing it for the kids because like it's a thankless job. You spend a lot of hours and you're not
Yeah,
making money off of
the
it. So
the boys are great though. Like, and I knew the whole team. I knew like 85% of the team from the gym already. So it
that's
was like
cool.
it was a good fit. I like those boys. So, but the
Hope
schedule
the
is
parents
now
like how
leveled out. No one's. I'm way too low on the totem pole. No one's yelling at me.
you.
We're good. Unless I do something bad to a kid, we're chilling. All right, hey Ryan McComb, if you listen this far, I love you. Thank you for texting us always when the show's coming back. Um, and that's it. You got anything else to add?
Nothing for this week. Looking forward to those Super Sundays coming up though.
Let's go. We're back to talk about Singapore next Monday, 5:30 p.m.